Welcome to Phonogenics 101, a Riotboy production hosted by Jeremy Gloff. The podcast where people who love music discuss albums track by track. Please hit subscribe, and if you'd like to support this podcast, patreon.com/Jeremy Gloff or Venmo @Jeremy Gloff. And now, on to the music. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Phonogenics 101. I'm Jeremy Gloff. I'm your host from Tampa, Florida. We're doing a special mid-afternoon episode because we don't want to fall too far behind on our Emmylou Harris series. We have our wonderful panel, Richard and Tadia here. And thanks to my Patreon subscribers. And if you like this podcast, please hit that subscribe button. I'm trying to hit 1,000. And every day it's like creeping up. So someone out there is watching. So tonight we enter... I feel like this is the next phase of Emmylou Harris. I feel like Roses in the Snow was kind of the end of the first phase, and we're going into the second block. Would you guys agree here?
Yes, it is a slightly change for type of material that she was using. Up till here, we had heard like the traditional country, the rock country, and then the bluegrass, and then I think on this album she switched to more country pop.
Right. Now, pop culture had changed a lot. We're in the 80s now. This was 1981, correct?
1981, yeah.
Yep.
And she, like the previous album, Roses in the Snow, and Light of the Stable, those two bluegrass albums, she had been taking time off because she was pregnant.
Right.
Time off the road. And so she was recording. And a lot of those songs didn't fit into those projects that she had released previous, like Roses in the Snow and Light of the Stable. So she saved a bunch of songs that she had in the can. And then the next two albums, she would start to release them on different projects.
This one and Cimarron, those are the two that she did that, or
yeah.
Cimarron is also pretty much. Cimarron is more from the Blue Kentucky Girl sessions, but Evangeline is it has more. It's spread all over. It's from the trio sessions. It's from but you can see, actually the way you can see it is who plays on each song. If you look at those, you can see what kind of group she has with her.
Cool. And when we go into the track by track discussion, we'll talk about where they came from.
Yes.
Now it's interesting. Music had changed so much in 1981. That kind of country, California, soft rock, country rock scene had kind of dissolved. I mean, Linda Ronstadt was heading more towards a new wave on her Mad Love album. Dolly Parton was really going into the pop at this point with 9 to 5 was this era, wasn't it, kind of? And Emmylou kind of probably was wondering like what to do in the 80s. It's interesting because I feel like all her albums kind of had a mission statement, like Rose in the Snow was the bluegrass album. With Blue Kentucky Girl, it was consciously like a traditional country album. Quarter Moon was focused on contemporary songwriter. So it's interesting. This is the first album that I feel like wasn't as strongly like it had a statement. My favorite thing about the Evangeline album is actually the cover. I mean, she looks so beautiful on this front cover, and then the back cover, that picture right there.
Yeah, Taking in the Street.
Yeah,
that was not even at a photo session. I think that someone just took it, a friend of her or something. I remember her daughter talked about this photo in the back.
It's interesting because this is one of her albums that's not available on a standalone CD. The only way to get it on CD is part of this box set here.
Correct.
So it is on digital, but here's the little CD. For years, I had like a burned copy that I burned off. What was it, Napster? Like way back then. It wasn't even.
That's interesting because I had that too.
I probably should.
All I have is my original vinyl.
So, Richard, I always like to start these off. You're a fan of Emmylou's, following her career in real time. How did you feel about Evangeline when it landed?
Well, when I saw the cover, I was excited for it because I loved that version of the title cut that she does with the band in The Last Waltz. In fact, I like it a whole lot better than I like the version she does of it here, even though we've got Linda and Emmylou doing the harmony vocals. But I mean, as you all say, it's kind of all over the place, stylistically. Remember how we were noticing that all the things started out with, usually started with an upbeat song of some kind. But this starts with "I Don't Have to Crawl."
Right.
But yeah, and so I mean, and I knew knew a lot of the songs on here, obviously from other people's versions. There's some nice moments in the record, don't get me wrong, but I don't remember playing this after it came out maybe more than once or twice.
So even at the time, it didn't land as strong of an album as some of the ones. Okay.
No, it didn't. And yeah, it didn't.
So Tadia, I know that you started like really exploring Emmylou in the 90s. What were your thoughts when you got to this album and your exploration of her?
So remember, before the internet was very in every household, I didn't have the complete list of our albums that was released. So we had the cassettes and then we had the CDs, and this was the time where the LPs had sort of like gone out of fashion for a while. Yeah. So I remember, I couldn't have been that old, 10, 11 years old. We were on a holiday on the other side of Norway visiting some family, and we went into like a record store that had some like LP leftovers in one area. And I pulled out this album by Emmylou. And like you guys said, when I saw the cover, I was like, wow, this looks really country. She had the boots with the fringe on and stuff. I was like really exciting about it.
Yeah.
But of course, this was the time where the LP players, we didn't have them anymore because we had cassettes and we had CDs. So it took me a while before I could play it. I remember I was really, really, wanted to hear it. And when I heard it, I was like, this is not country. Except for like Bad Moon Rising and a few others. That was pretty cool. But it's not my favorite Emmylou Harris album. However, there are some gems on it that I do like. And when we go through the songs now, we'll understand why they are there. Because I mean, like a lot of these songs make sense when you know the story about them a little bit, so to speak.
It's interesting. Oh, well, I'm so sorry. Continue.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I also would say that, like you said, that the cover shoots for this album is pretty cool, and I've seen some outtakes from them, and she looks cool in this photo.
Yeah,
she looks like rock and roll country music girl come to town.
It does seem like from the inner picture though of her jumping up and down, like she's really going to a hoedown in here. But it's not really that well reflected in the record.
It's taken at the same time, actually. These photos are the ones that you have on the inside sleeve there. It's behind the blue wall.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
And the cool single photo, which I think it's How High the Moon.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a single, and she's sitting on the floor, with her legs pulled up to her cheek, with his boots on. It's pretty cool.
On the cover of the single?
Yeah.
Did that single chart at all, or?
No, I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Now, I do remember Mr. Sandman getting airplay, because at the time, like, I loved Emmylou Harris when I was really little, but then at the time I'd moved on to, like, Blondie and Pat Benatar, so I heard Mr. Sandman, I'm like, oh, this isn't cool.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and Linda Ronstadt also recorded a version of that one as well as on a solo album. But, yeah. Well, let's start with the first song.
Yeah. Now, I do feel like, for a collection of songs, I have just two quick things to say. For a collection of songs that are kind of mishmash, they weirdly kind of go together. And second of all, I wonder, like, what Emmylou and Brian's intent were. Did they owe the record company an album, so they decided to do this? Did they feel like they wanted to get these songs out? Like, I wonder if this is more of a contractual thing, or they believed in the songs and they didn't fit anywhere else. Does anyone have any idea?
Well, I think that, you know, she was kind of like releasing albums every year.
Right.
And she had a lot of songs that she liked and she wanted them out there, but some kind of the concepts of the other albums, some of them didn't fit into like bluegrass or into like country and stuff. But Emmy is a type of artist that will record music she likes. She doesn't necessarily have a like it has to be this kind of genre to be
Right.
this or that. She's like, okay, it's a good song, I'm gonna get it, you know, and she find a ways to do it, but not maybe some of it doesn't like fit with the other songs that she likes, so she kind of like, you know, it has to have some kind of meaning.
Right.
So when Evangeline came out, they promoted it pretty heavily, you see, because this is the first album that was she ever recorded music videos in.
Right.
And she did I Don't Have to Crawl, which was a Rodney Crowell song that Roseanne Cash would also cut, you know. And
I mean, if we're on cut number one, I have to say I really prefer Roseanne Cash's version of this song.
Oh, you do, huh?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they recorded 2 video versions, Emmylou, for this song. Yeah.
What are the difference between the 2 versions? Oh, sorry, Richard.
First of all, Emmylou doesn't sing all the words to the song. So it's and she's cut them out of the lyric sheet too. So it's the verse. Sorry, I've got to put my readers on. Where are they? Here they are.
So what year was Roseanne's version released?
When was hers out?
In the 80s, probably. 83 or 84, I don't know.
A little bit later?
Was it later? Was it on King's Record Shop?
So it was later. That would... Oh...
Yeah. I think that's 87.
Right. So Rodney Crowell is known for changing the lyrics in his songs.
Oh.
Yeah, hers came out 87, so maybe Rodney added more lyrics.
He did that with the song Shame on the
line, I don't have to get down on my knees. She says that. And that's the beginning of the last verse, which is, I don't have to get down on my knees. I will not be a peasant to please you. And she doesn't sing those lyrics. So maybe Rodney didn't have them in the song then. I hadn't thought about that.
Some of his lyrics has been changed, like Shame on the Moon, that Karen Brooks cut, and then other would cut later, and it's totally different when you hear it.
Yeah,
but I don't know if that's the reason, but it could be, you know.
It's kind of swampy, you know. Her vocals are mixed back a lot on this record.
Yes, and that song didn't chart.
Right.
It's a good video. I like the video. First, I'm seeing Emmylou with her with the inlaid rose in playing there, you know, with the long dark hair, and she also acts a little bit in the video, you know, with her.
I haven't seen it, so I'll have to look it up.
Oh, it's beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. And I will say this: I have heard that song live, and it's because she did tour Evangeline, and she did sing most of the songs. No, actually, she sang all of the songs live during that tour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, Evangeline tour was pretty cool.
What's the difference between the 2 versions of the video?
Let me see.
Are they just like minor differences?
No, there are differences. I don't remember right now, but I will look it up.
Okay.
But there is a difference. There's one that was like released out to the TV stations, and the other one was kept. So it's only been shown a few times. Yeah.
Now, you know, I feel like this is the song, even though Roses in the Snow came out in the 80s, I feel like this is a song where Emmylou really goes into the 80s. Because you have like a little bit of synthesizer there.
Yeah. There's a lot of synthesizer on the other Rodney Crowell song at the end. To Ashes by Now. And she bookends the album with Rodney Crowell songs.
And slow ones, but for that matter.
Yeah. I mean, and it's a lot more. Her Ashes by Now is also, I think, I don't know. He's pretty low key on it too. So
yeah, well, Emmy, she had first hand, you know, picking Rodney Crowell songs. So I guess that she would record Rodney Crowell songs, you know, like a new song, and then she would record a new song and record, you know.
I think he plays on one or both of them.
I do like her version of "I Don't Have to Crawl." I feel like it's a a lot of our ladies went into the '80s and did not fare very well, but I think Emmylou did okay. It felt authentic to her. It didn't feel too produced or too gimmicky. It was a little dark. I thought it's not how I'm used to an Emmylou album opening. Because Quarter Moon started with "Easy From Now On," which was slower, but this is a different kind of opening track for an Emmylou album. And
it is.
I guess I'm just really fond of this song, and I'm mostly from both Rodney and Roseanne's versions of it, and I really like Roseanne's. I think the best of any of them.
It has a beautiful chorus to it. But like you said, it's from "Roses in the Snow." That was like really going acoustic to this.
Right.
It had only like, this is the cool thing about Emmylou Harris. You never know.
You never know.
That's true.
The next album, suddenly, she would push up this one, or Bluegrass, or Wrecking Ball, it will just be right in your face and like, what the hell is this, And then you start listening to it and it starts growing on you like, wow, this is good, So this is what she does, and she did that here as well. The album went gold after 1 year. We have to remember that.
Yeah.
And it was a popular album at the time. I remember who said that to me. I think it was Steve Fischel, because at the time she was the hot band that is on the album here had slightly different versions of the band. They changed over the years, I think it was Steve Fischel. But anyway, said that during the release party of the album, they were getting together, friends and family and stuff, and having a release party. And during the party, someone walked in and said that John Lennon had passed away.
Oh, wow.
And totally like made the whole party. Everybody was like putting their glasses down, like, wow,
Shit.
That was in December of '80.
Yeah.
Okay, so they must have been playing the album like a preview. Richard, we lost your video, but we still can hear you.
Oh, man. Why did that happen?
All right. Well, I still give "I Don't Have to Crawl" a thumbs up. I think it's a good song.
Good song.
The second song, it's interesting. Talk about switching gears. How High the Moon. This is more the acoustic. It's different than the Roses in the Snow, though. This feels kind of more Dixieland, like 1930s or 40s or whatever.
It's the Les Paul and Mary Ford tune are the ones who did it.
Okay. Yeah, I don't feel like this would have fit on Roses in the Snow. It's too...
It was a big deal with Les Paul. You can see he's showing off his guitar technique, and Mary is there. She's got like headphones on. It's cool. I watched a video of it because I remember
this is the anthem of the bebop jazz.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, like, this is jazz, and like you said, this song was cut during the Roses in the Snow sessions.
Yeah, and it's amazing. It has amazing solos. That's what I love about this. You can't beat, like,
I guess
Tony
that's
Rice.
the point about the song. That there was like she was gonna let them see how good they were at playing. Let the boys go, and it was an instrumental with just not many words.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I've played this song, and the chord changes are pretty difficult.
Yes, they are.
So I guess that playing this live must be fun for the boys because it's a challenge. It's an upbeat swing bebop thing. It's a cool thing, but it's not typical Emmylou Harris.
No.
But I mean, any song that has Tony Rice, Ricky Skaggs, Albert Lee, Jerry Douglas, Bill Payne, and plus a lot of the regular band is pretty good.
Yeah, it's not anyone that plays on that one.
Right.
It's weird because this song is so odd. I feel like it would only fit on this album. Like, I can't really hear it on any of the other albums. So I feel like Evangeline kind of became her island of misfit toys.
I guess so. That's what maybe they thought too, that where do we put this one?
Yeah.
I love where she's like, where she just does the ahs and it goes into the guitar solo. This probably is my favorite song on the album, or one of them. This is the one I listen to a lot. It just has such a... Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So, Richard, who is harmonizing on it? Because is Emmy putting all the harmonies, isn't it?
No, it's the White Sisters.
It's the White Sisters. Okay, because
Uh-huh.
they are very good harmonizers.
Yeah.
It's a very, very challenging song when it comes to harmonies because the
Yeah.
levels are, but they are family, those sisters, so they know how to follow each other.
Mm-hmm.
And Emmylou is so great at just doing a really up tempo. Think of Luxury Liner, and this is another one. I mean, they're really going at a fast clip here, and it
I
doesn't seem
like
like
it.
they're out of breath at all.
I mean, I just like to watch musicians show off anyway. So
Right.
I mean, it's great.
Fun thing, I remember her playing this song live with the Nash Ramblers, her acoustic band.
Uh-huh.
And I mean, those guys, they were crazy on stage when it comes to instrumentation.
Yeah.
I remember Sam Bush just going crazy on the
Oh my
violin.
God, yeah.
It was like, oh my God, they just burned up the floor with this song with the Nash Ramblers. That song should have been released live,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So much fun for them, you could hear that they're enjoying it and they're screaming in the background, and yeah.
Well, this is one song. It sounds probably as fun as it was. Like, it's fun to listen to this version of the song.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of energy there, so I give it thumbs up. Any other thoughts on How High the Moon?
It's a fun song.
Yeah.
And it's a famous song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next, we have Emmylou coming in. Then Waylon Jennings just busts right in. Talk about a strong voice. Spanish Johnny's the song.
And it's a Paul Siebel song.
Yeah.
And Paul Siebel, he used to play with Emmylou in the 60s. He is actually on one of the guys that plays on Gliding Bird.
Okay.
Yeah. He wrote Any Day Woman and Louise. You might have heard of those songs.
Oh.
So
Louise, which Emmy would cut with the Angel Band. It's not released. And also, let me see, Linda Ronstadt and Bonnie Raitt had good
I remember Bonnie Raitt's version.
Yeah. They each did it.
Yeah. But Paul Siebel, he knew Emmylou, and I guess that she paid tribute to him because they would play in bars together in the 60s, early 70s. So he
became kind of a recluse before he died, Paul Siebel.
Right. I read about that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think that the cool thing is that Waylon Jennings, the only two times I've heard him work with Emmylou is on this song. Which he's singing great harmonies.
I know there's nothing subtle about Waylon Jennings. He kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, but I love it. Like, I think they sound great together.
I know, and I remember that he would later play guitar on her Ballad of Sally Rose album. But he sang harmony on this song, and this song has a very cool sound to it because they have a bass harmonica.
Oh.
And that is not very often used in country music. But Brian Hearn put it into his music. He also did that on the Karen Brooks albums. And it has a special sound to it. And it kind of like, that song is what reminds me of that album. When I think of that song, I think of Evangeline.
This song, for a little bit, has a little bit of the aesthetic of me from Tulsa Queen, from Luxury Liner.
It has that feeling to it. That's true. I never thought about it, but when you're saying it, it feels right.
Yeah. Now, do you know when this one was cut? What album was this left over from?
I don't know. But if I'm not mistaken, I think that he released it too.
Okay.
I'm not sure he did. I mean, I've got both of his albums, one of them on LP, but then I've got a CD compilation.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I'd have to look it up.
Well, on paper, like, the style of these first three songs should not flow into each other as well as they do, but Emmylou made it work. I mean, she's just jumping from style to style and year to year on this album.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on Spanish Johnny?
No, it's a good song, and not a song that she have in her repertoire live. Sadly, I saw her at the City Winery not long ago in Nashville a couple of years ago during the COVID sessions.
Mm-hmm.
but she must have liked the song since she cut it.
Mm-hmm.
She probably did it. No, she did that song in her sets in the 70s, in the early 70s. She did that song live. I have
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she did record. She did have some performances of that. I have a live performance of it. When I'm
Cool.
thinking about it, yeah.
All right, so next, Bad Moon Rising. I thought, it's interesting with Emmylou because there's so many covers she does that she really like takes ownership and it becomes an Emmylou song. And I didn't feel like that was the case with this one. It still kind of felt like a cover to me. Not one of my favorite tacklings of. I mean, it's not bad by any means, but to me, it doesn't scale the heights of when she interprets a song and makes it her own. How did you guys feel about this one?
I always been a big Creedence Clearwater Revival fan. I mean, I have everything they have released, so I grew up with that kind of material. So I'm happy that she did one of my favorite bands.
You know what she did really well with the Angel Band. They always did. They did this almost every time I saw them. They did a great cover of Lodi, that Creedence
Would have
song.
been so amazing to hear.
Yeah, I remember hearing it.
I never heard that. I only heard it when she cut it with the Nash Rounders, which probably was very different.
Yeah, it was great. I just always remember,
Bad Moon Rising was a song that I've seen her do a lot in the 80s, mid 80s, in her live shows. A fun song to perform live, because people knew it and it would get them going, and she would rocking, and they let the band play great guitar on it and stuff. And I like that upbeat song. My parents have never been a big Emmylou Harris fan, except for when she cuts a song like this.
Okay.
And I'm like, oh yeah, Creedence, Yeah. I like that song. It's one of the songs that I actually listen most to when it comes to Evangeline.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It is the era where things started to change, It's a kind of like the same type of songs that you would hear later on White Shoes and stuff, It's more rocking, alternative country music.
I'm going to have to listen to White Shoes pretty carefully because I don't remember much about it at all, though I have it.
Yeah, we're starting to get into some albums that I don't know quite as well as the ones that we've already covered, but I did enjoy White Shoes.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the side one ends with her version of Evangeline. Of course, we heard the version from The Last Waltz. The title track of the album, we have the trio on there. Now, Richard, you're saying that you prefer the Last Waltz version?
I like that. I like the fact that they trade lead vocals. I love to watch like Rick Danko sing and play that fiddle on his chest and stuff. And Levon Helm's voice is great, and what he does the Bayou Sam verse.
What
and
year
Emmylou's on it. So what more can you like?
What year was that, Richard?
What?
What year did the band cut it with her?
It came out in the movie, the Scorsese movie, in '78. The soundtrack was '78.
Right. Yeah. So this song was recorded with the trio in '78. I don't know which one they did first or later because trio wasn't released.
Right.
Yeah.
They cut the whole album. A whole trio album was recorded.
Yeah, well, she would have cut it with the band like quite a bit earlier than '78, I would think.
Right.
Because
she
must
have liked it since she recorded it again with the girls on the vocals there, and it might have been when they did it with the trio, they might have been that they had been taking different verses. I don't know because like they did on Blue Kentucky Girl with the Even Cowgirls Get the Blues, which was a trio cut. They removed Linda and Dolly's vocals on the verses and only used it on the choruses. And they have done that here too, I think, because it's only Emmy singing lead.
Right.
Well, apparently they took the Dolly and Linda off Mr. Sandman for the single release.
Yes.
And Emmylou had to do all the voices.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I don't have a lot to say about the album version of Evangeline. I feel like that Last Waltz version is so iconic. I mean, it's an Emmylou Harris moment that a lot of people think of. And
I know, but I do like it.
yeah,
You can really pick out Dolly's voice in it.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
do. I prefer the Last Waltz version.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well, you flip over the album, and the side 2 starts with Hot Burrito number 2.
Right, and that's Graham Parsons' song. That she also she did that song all the way back to the Angel Band days in '74, and she did that song a lot in her live sets through the whole '70s with the hot band. So we know that she liked that song.
Right.
She finally cut it. I don't know what time she might have cut that song in the mid '70s. I don't know, but she used to do it live. She used to do it live.
Now, is there a Hot Burrito number 1 or number 3? I don't follow Graham Parsons, so I do not know.
Hot Burrito. This is number 2, right?
Right.
Yep.
Hot Burrito number 1 is this is the one that goes, "You love me and you sew all my clothes," right? That's this one.
Yep.
Yeah, it's "He may be sweet and nice, but that won't keep you warm at night, 'cause I'm the one who let you down." That's Hot Burrito number 1.
Well, I guess the hook of this one where she's like, "You've got to love me, Jesus Christ."
Yeah.
And I remember I was playing a show in Atlanta, and I had a lot of memories from when I lived there, and I did play this album, of course, because of a song that's coming up, "Oh Atlanta." But I just remember listening to this and singing along to the chorus, driving up 75, windows down. This is one of my favorite songs on the album. Do you guys like her version compared to the original?
Yeah, I like it. I like the song. It's not my favorite song on the album, but I like her version better than his.
You do? I like that fuzz tone steel guitar on his version.
Yeah.
Now,
I gotta say, I love the Gilded Palace of Sin, the whole thing from beginning to end.
Mm. Mm. It's a good.
is she being literal, or was he being literal or figurative? Was he saying Jesus Christ isn't the man, or like, Jesus Christ, you had to love me? Like, what were they saying there?
Oh, probably a little of both.
A little both. What a clever lyric, and Emmylou just tears into it. This is one of my favorites on the album for sure.
Great. I'm glad to hear that because it is a good song, and there is a song that you not hear people talk about very often.
Yeah, and I went back and listened to the original version, and unlike Bad Moon Rising, where I just felt like she didn't completely own that song, this one I feel like she got in there and explored every nook and cranny of this one, and I love it.
Anything by Graham, she's gonna do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's amazing. He did a lot of amazing stuff for having died so early.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool song. It's a different song. It's I don't know what. It's not a country song. It's different.
Well, next we have good old James Taylor shows up here, Mill Worker. Now, I must admit, I am Team Carly. I'm a huge Carly Simon fan, so I never was a big James Taylor fan. I always thought he was kind of boring. And I feel like Mill Worker by Emmylou Harris is kind of boring.
Ooh, I'm going to arrest you.
You like this one? You like her version?
I do like it. And the more I listen to it, the more I like it.
Okay.
When I started listening to it, I did not like it. But, I mean, I like the story in it. It's kind of like dreamy. It's a very much storytelling, the song.
Yeah.
James
Taylor wrote it for the musical based on Studs Terkel's Working.
Mm.
So, and he said that he dreamt the whole lyrics.
Yeah.
And he wrote it down.
So. And apparently Studs Terkel said he had, or the person writing doing the book for the musical said he didn't tell him anything.
What I do like about Emmy's songs, about a lot of the things, is kind of like, when she do harmonizing, it's sometimes, even if she does it with somebody else, it's kind of hard to take your ear off her voice. She kind of demands even if she's singing like the second or third voice, it's her voice that you hear. And on this song, when she goes into the chorus, it's the second voice you hear better than the first voice, you know. So it's kind of like, and she has that thing, and when she does that, where she like switches, you know,
Right.
and you kind of think that that's the first voice, but actually it's the harmony voice that you hear as the first voice. And this for the rest of the afternoon, for the rest of my life, you know, it's different than what he did, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And by no means do I feel this is a bad song. It's still a good song. It's just, you know, wasn't one of my favorites, but a bad Emmylou, or a not favorite Emmylou song is better than half people's entire catalog.
Right.
Well, I'm not Team Carly, because back in the early 70s, I was Team Joni and James.
Oh, okay.
And
My Old Man. Wasn't My Old Man about James, or am I imagining things?
I think.
Well, See You Sometime certainly was, with the
See You
back up your
Sometime was.
suspense.
I think My Old Man might be about Nash, but I'm not sure.
She's a pretty cool girl. I didn't get into her music because I didn't hear much about it. I only heard remember the Janet Jackson sampling. I hope you think the song is about.
Oh yeah.
Got Till It's Gone.
Yeah, I have a friend. When I was in Nashville recently, I stayed at his apartment. It's apartment of that used to belong to a producer called Jim Rooney.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jim Rooney.
Yeah, I stayed at his apartment in Nashville, and they would hang out. They spend time with her. You know, they go out to her place and hang out with her.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. She's pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought I like Mill Worker. You know, all things being equal.
Still in her set list, still to this day.
Yeah.
And does anyone know where this was recorded from? Like what era?
Let's see who's on it.
Like the end of the 70s, you know.
Okay.
It's got this is the only one that has Steve Fischel on dobro. So
yeah.
And it's got Tony Rice, Ricky Skaggs, Mickey Raphael, Hank DeVito, Brian, Emery Gordy, Steve Fischel.
Right. So it is so it's 78, 79.
Okay.
If Ricky was there, yeah.
All right. Well, moving on, the song that I listened to on my way to Atlanta, "Oh Atlanta," you know, probably not in my top 10 favorite Emmylou songs, but I still like it. This is one of those albums you can listen to with the window down, just cruising up I-75.
Do you like the Little Feat version?
I've never actually heard it. Which one do you like better?
Little Feat.
Little Feats is better? Okay.
She sings on that one.
Probably Bill Payne.
No, Emmylou sings on the original.
Oh yeah, she does. She does background vocals.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she was a big Little Feat fan.
I know. I love Little Feat so much.
Yeah. Same dudes.
Yeah, I remember right around when I was started seeing Emmylou in the clubs, I saw Bonnie Raitt, the Butterfield Better Days Band, and Little Feat.
Right.
And Bonnie Raitt brought Arthur Big Boy Crudup to the show, so that was pretty amazing.
I mean, that song is I like that song. Oh, yeah. Atlanta. I like that song. I like when she started growling in the bridge and stuff. And she kicks that song, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Song that is one of the songs that I would love to hear her do, you know, because it's a fun song and the chord changes. It's not obvious. It changes, you know, and it's a much more rock and roller than Little Feat did to it, you know. More country, probably.
Well, I always liked the song.
Yep.
So, and she certainly doesn't embarrass herself in this version. She does it quite well. So,
you know, I feel like she just set the bar so high with like Luxury Liner. Everything she touched was like 24 karat gold. So I feel like had another artist released this album, it might have been their best album. You know what I mean? But like these are Emmylou's leftovers. Kind of.
You know what? That is actually true because she rarely records a bad song.
Yeah. All right. Well, the next one was the single, Mr. Sandman. The album version had the trio. The single version had Emmylou harmonizing with herself. Do you guys have a preference over which version you liked better?
I like Emmylou's voices on it.
I think I like Emmylou's version better too.
She
I haven't
blends
really
them.
listened to that version.
Yeah.
So, I mean, was that I don't remember hearing it on the radio either.
It's on profile too. You will find a good version of it.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'll go listen to it at some point, but
Mm.
I like this.
Drop in the chat which one you like better, Richard. I'm interested to hear.
Okay, I will.
Any of the YouTube watchers, if you're watching this, drop in the chat. Which Mr. Sandman did you like better, single, mix, or album with the trio?
Well, the trio version is interesting because it kind of like make you understand how good they actually are at singing harmonies. They blend perfectly. Mm-hmm. Now, Mr. Sandman is a very hard song to sing because I think it's like a 30s, 40s type of song.
Yeah.
You know, the harmony. It reminds me of the Andrew Sisters. So to speak, you know?
Didn't they do the original? Didn't they sing it? Andrew Sisters?
I think they did the original.
Yeah.
Did they? Okay, because it's that the kind of dynamic I hear in it. You know. And when you hear that, when they're doing that, when they change chords and go that bum 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 bum, you know.
Yeah.
And the three of them are doing that together now. When they were recording that, when the trio were recording in the Enactron truck studio, the mobile studio that Brian Ahern used for recording, you see that the vocal booth was not together with the band. So that meant that they couldn't see the band playing. They would only hear it, you know? So they wouldn't see each other what was going on. So it was kind of like not easy to record with a live band, but that's how they did it. And so when they cut the trio session, Dolly and Linda didn't feel like, you know, they didn't have the connection to that.
Oh, the synergy.
Yeah, and so they say that the record company didn't like the version to be put out on the single, but Dolly and Linda didn't think that they did a good performance on that song. There was not. Dolly even said in her interview that we were out of tune, which they were not, because you could hear the sound pretty good.
Right.
But
it was done by the Chordettes. That's who did the original version.
Okay. My favorite version is the episode of the Golden Girls where they sing it and B. Arthur does the boom. But it was interesting, an interesting single choice because, you know, in the early 1980s, I wouldn't say that this kind of music was particularly, people weren't nostalgic for it. So Emmylou still released it as a single, and it was a pretty sizable hit for her, wasn't it? I remember it being played.
Yeah, and I asked her about that because the lyrics are kind of like silly, you know. And I asked her about it. I said, "You recorded? How did I say it? I said you recorded all your songs. Always have strong lyrics or something." I said something like that, and she said, "Well, I recorded a silly song too. You know, I did Mr. Sandman." I was like, "Oh." You know, but it was such fun. And she said that when she went back to re-record her own vocals on it, she understood how difficult it actually was because she had to sing harmony with herself and do all the vocals that the other girls had done.
And she had to track herself 3 times to do that. Like,
yeah. And when you're listening to it on the profile too, where she had or the single version,
I'm gonna listen to it.
It's very, very good. But when she sings all the harmonies, I'm wondering why didn't you do that all the time? Because she's such a good harmonizer.
She is.
But she always liked to have.
But you know, people who sing harmony really like singing with actual other people.
Yeah.
Right.
The only line that was a little bit too saccharine for me is where she's saying it would be peachy. Like I'm like, oh, we could have changed
that was just so cute.
Oh,
I thought that line was just peachy.
Oh God, that's the one where I'm like, okay, we're pushing it too far here.
Well, she also recorded 2 videos for this song. one of them is like in a 40s club where she's like up on stage with two other girls dancing with her, and this guy from the Air Force or something come walking into the bar, and he checks her out, and she's flirting with him from the stage. The other version is her standing on a podium where she have tons of dancers dancing in circles around her, which is a rare version. Totally different. And she has like a big rose in her hair, like she had on Roses in the Snow in a flower dress. And it's totally different. Beautiful version.
Isn't it interesting of all the songs on this album, like the record company's like, let's push Mr. Sandman. Like, but it kind of worked, strangely enough.
And it's my least favorite Emmylou songs of any songs she ever recorded.
Really?
I've tried to wrap my head around this for ages.
It's not very peachy?
It's a great song, Tidy. It's a great song, and I listen to it, and I'm like, what do they hear that I don't? So
Now, see, I remember being 6 years old, because when I was 4, like, my grandma bought me Profile, and I loved my mom had Luxury Liner, I loved all the records. But by the time I was 6 and 7, that's, like I said, I was big into Pat Benatar. She had Precious Time, Crimes of Passion. I bought all those albums when I was 6 and 7 years old. So when Mr. Sandman came, I'm like, this sucks. Like, this isn't cool.
But I guess for an artist like Emmylou, who has done everything, to play that song is probably a lot of fun, you know?
Yeah. And I grew up, when I grew up and rediscovered Emmylou in the 2000s, I found a keenness for this peachy song a little bit. It's cute.
Yeah. And it's kind of the song that matches How High the Moon, you know?
Right. And it kind of goes with this album. Like it wouldn't fit on any other Emmylou album except this weird island of misfit toys.
Mm-hmm.
The Rejects.
You can connect them directly here.
Yep.
You know, they're across from each other. Just like you can connect I Don't Have to Crawl with Ashes by Now.
Right. Every song had its like flip side, the negative and the positive.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the album ends with another Rodney song. Ashes by Now. I will say, like, she's fully invested in her version here. She's really singing it out. It's definitely a bookend to the album. It's so weird, the journey this album takes you on. You kind of end up where you started with the same kind of, mid-tempo synthesizers, 1981. What do you guys think of this song?
Well, Ashes by Now was the first song she ever recorded with Rodney Crowell in 1974.
Really?
That's the first demo they ever cut.
But that's not this version, is it?
No, that's not this version.
Okay.
We haven't heard that yet. Hopefully there will be an album of demos one day.
Right.
But she did that with Rodney Crowell, and she has done it live as well before she recorded it on Evangeline. I like the chorus on it because it reminds me of like an Asian song.
An Asian song?
Yeah, what song is it that reminds me of? I've thought about it. I had it on my tongue here. Jesus. But anyway, the way she sings, she drags the words. Na ni na 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 na. You know?
Okay.
Yeah. Ashes by Now is a cool song.
I always thought of it as a rejoinder to 7 Year Ache. It's an answer song.
I mean, it's interesting.
Yeah. Yes, that makes sense. I never thought about that.
Yeah,
but of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
The set of songs on paper should not go together, but oddly enough, they do. None of these songs would really fit on any other Emmylou Harris album. So, whether it was trying to fulfill a contract or they love the songs and for whatever reason they did this album, I'm glad they did. I'm glad we got to hear these songs.
Yeah, there was a time in, let's see now, was it 1999 or 2000? She re-released Last Date and Cimarron on CD, remastered.
Oh, yep. With some bonus tracks.
Mm-hmm. Really, really well remastered.
Yep.
You released both of them together on one CD, or
no, two separate.
And the sound of Last Date live version listen to that on the CD. Man, that is a well-produced
And they
album.
had a beautiful slipcase too when they reissued them.
Yes, they're out of
I
print
only
now.
have the vinyl.
Right, you need to get that CD, Richard.
Okay.
Same with Cimarron, also has longer versions of a couple of the songs.
Okay.
But what I was going to say is that when they re-released them, she did it on her own record label. When she released Spybo, they released 3 albums under that record label: Spybo, Last Date, and Cimarron. And that was a album created by one of her, I think his manager, Monty Hitchcock.
Okay.
Hitchcock. Yeah, they created that label to release those albums. They couldn't find the masters for Evangeline.
Is that what happened?
Really?
Yes. And so that was also one of the songs that they wanted to put out there again, but it never happened. So like Evangeline and 13 were the 2 albums that did never get a CD release.
Right.
And of course Gliding Bird. But that's another story. But
So-
that, yeah.
Was this CD kind of taken off the vinyl? That wasn't the original master tapes that they got for this one here?
So that I don't know, because I spoke to somebody that is very close to her that worked with her, and they say that who mastered this? And I was sitting there with Brian Ahern, you know, our producer, at a table there with him and having lunch, and they were like, "Who mastered this? You know, where did they get this?"
The label was Eminent Records that did the reissues, right?
Yes, and I would have loved to have that album re-released with a few extra tracks, you know.
Yeah.
She released a single that has never been re-released called Mama Help. That is also from the same record sessions, recording sessions that's from here. And when you hear it, it's like, this should have been on Evangeline. It sounds like one of those, you know. If you don't have it, look it up on YouTube, Mama Help, Emmylou Harris. Yeah.
Well, this was an interesting album, that's for sure. It's kind of a grab bag. It's strangely cohesive in its non-cohesiveness. You know, like I said, the only thing working against this album is she released 5, 6, 7 masterpieces that are amongst the best albums of all time. So, you know, these are the songs that didn't fit those masterpieces. And while it's not a bad album, it's certainly not the 24 karat gold that some of the other ones were, but it's still great. I don't know, where would you guys rank this one, scale of 1 to 10?
9.
7.
Yeah, I think I might give it like a 7 or 8. You know, if Luxury Liner is a 10,
yeah,
this might be a 7, I guess.
Yeah.
So,
but it again, it like the one before this, she Roses in the Snow, which was a popular among fans and bluegrass people, and this one went gold as well. So it was a popular album,
right? And
so there was I guess that, you know, with her putting like different types of music out there, she always found somebody that liked her music, no matter what she did.
Yeah, I mean, I went and bought the next one and Last Date and White Shoes, so I was going to buy anything that Emmylou put out.
Would you say it's fair? Would you say it's fair to say that had she done another bluegrass album, it might have been kind of stale? I think it's good she switched gears with this one.
Well, she does it later on, so.
Yeah.
Like with Emmylou Harris, she doesn't make the same record twice.
Right.
So and she has nothing left to prove. I mean, like, she has done everything. She has explored all she can do.
Yeah.
She has never been afraid to take chances and being like kind of like out of the concept.
Yeah, I know.
It's like people. I don't think she's an artist you can say to, you know, oh, we're going to produce your album like this. You're going to sound like this. She was like, no, if she didn't feel it, she wouldn't do it. She was always true to the song, you know. And great song finder as well, because most of Emmylou Harris's songs on all albums, they're pretty good songs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, even if you don't like the song or if it's not your favorite version of it, it's a damn good song.
Yeah. I mean, she's got a great judgment for picking songs ever since the beginning, really.
She
And, it,
does.
and as an artist, I bet it was hard to transition to the 80s because everything was going so, new wave, punk. A lot of the country people were going super pop. Like Dolly had her like Dolly 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 album and Great Balls of Fire, which are
Right. Yes.
certainly so different than like Coat of Many Colors. So, and then Linda was doing Get Close, Get Closer, and Mad Love. So I wonder, and even Willie Nelson was like going towards like Stardust, right? So I wonder if like Emmylou watched all of her peers go in such a different direction. I really feel like she managed to maintain her integrity through the 80s.
She was changing a lot, and also Brian Aherne, her husband and producer at the time, also produced Stardust, by the way.
Oh, he did. And,
Yeah.
those were great albums. I
Yeah.
like the direction that everyone went in. It was interesting, but
Yeah,
it
but
was a transitional time.
there's one thing that's interesting, and that is, when you're listening to the bands that she used, they were always as good in the studio as they were live.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even though she played with the hot band from 75 to 89, there were different versions of those bands.
Right.
Mhm.
There were like guitarists that would leave, they were replaced with another one, great one, of course. There were like steel guitarists that was replaced by another one as they all moved along to different directions.
Mm-hmm.
But the hot band sound, because of that, changed. They didn't sound the same in the 80s as they did in the 70s,
No.
even though they played the same songs, because they had like slightly different versions. On this album, you can hear that's the 80s version of the hot band, because the way they played live and stuff. Steve Fisher was a great steel guitarist who plays on this album, and from here and up, they had a different sound.
Yep.
It was never the same. So after Roses in the Snow, it's kind of like with Roses of the Snow. After that, pre-Roses in the Snow, after Roses in the Snow, it changed the sound. It was never the same.
The hot band that's on Last Day is pretty damn good.
They're so good, and I'm excited to talk.
I love
about
that album. But
Yeah.
and Emmylou's voice also changed in the 80s. There's definitely a little bit different sound of tone in these 80s albums than in the 70s. And I like both sounds of her voice, but it's a little bit different.
Yes. I'm excited about next time talking about Last Date, because that is an album. No, that's not next time.
Cimarron's next.
Cimarron next time. Yeah.
Well, Toddy, I know we need to get you to bed. You have to get up like in 4 hours, but
Yep.
we will meet in our chat and figure out when we're going to do Cimarron, so we can get back on schedule. But this was a transitional album. Welcome to the 80s, Emmylou Harris. We're gonna go into this next block here, and Tadia, get some sleep. Richard, don't bid too high in those auctions. And thanks to the Patreons and Emmylou Harris and Mr. Sandman can sing you some dreams, Tadia, as you drift off to sleep.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay. Enjoy your evening, guy. Have a good day.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.